Hey, Kevin St. Jar. I got to go water the garden, but I thought I'd talk to you about this dichotomy between people always say plotters and pantsers, people who plot out the entire story before they start writing, or people who write by the seat of their pants. I kind of reject that. It sounds kind of too silly for the hard work that's happening anyway. I think I would call them design writers and discovery writers. There's the writers who design at least an outline, a guideline, and then the discovery writers who discover the story as it unfolds as they write it, right? But one of the reasons I don't like it is it seems to imply that people who are discovery writers aren't developing plots. Of course they are. I'm not really a discovery writer. I did it with one novel. It was exciting and stressful. At the same time, I woke up every day going, okay, today's the day I could screw the whole thing up, or, have to undo 150 pages of work or whatever. I think the design writers, sometimes there's this misconception that they're bound by the outline that they write. The outlines I write certainly don't look like that Roman numeral, capital A, small a outlines that we learned in 8th grade or whatever. Basically what I do is I have a paragraph for each chapter. This is what basically is happening in this chapter. And it's not just and then. It should be causal, right? Like each chapter should lead to the next chapter. Chapter 2 happened because of chapter 1. Or if it's a braided story, it doesn't have to be one back to back like that. But one of the problems with design writers too is sometimes they try to answer every question. That's part of the reason why I think that both writers have a foot in either world. A design writer will design an outline, a story, so that if they get kind of stuck or lost, they can look back at the outline. But they shouldn't try and solve everything, right? Let the story go, and they'll discover the material that will fill in the gaps, right? Every outline should leave room for discovery. So every design writer, therefore, is at least somewhat a discovery writer. Pantsing or discovery writing is not the absence of plot. Discovery writers are still making thousands of decisions, plot decisions. They're just doing it in the narrative itself as they go. They do the plotting during composition. Discovery writers don't know the end necessarily, right? Well, a lot of times even design writers don't. They leave the end to be discovered. Some people find that stressful, but I think if you are too strict about following your outline, you're actually handcuffing your novel. The outline should be serving the book, not the other way around. The book shouldn't be a servant to the outline. The only concerns with discovery writing for me were, the whole I'll figure it out later kind of thing. You could be 150 pages deep into something and then realize that it needs to be fixed, maybe blown away, right? Either way is equally valid way of writing. But I honestly believe, like so many things in writing, there's a little bit of each kind of mixed together. The discovery writers are doing some designing, and the design writers are doing some discovery. And I think, it's never sort of a black and white thing with writing.